Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today, an exciting early look at the upcoming colorway of the Adidas 40 Forward. Without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so as you guys will know, I reviewed the Tokyo 40 Forward edition just a couple of weeks ago and kind of alluded that I'm going to be doing a really exciting review of a future model of 4D technology here on Sneaker Stories, and this is it. These are absolutely incredible. They have something I've never seen before on 4D technology. But as I said in the previous review, I really wanted to just rewind the clock back a little bit with 4D technology, see where it came from, why it exists, and where we are today with the ultra cool 4D Forwards. So to do that, I've bought out my entire collection of 4Ds and a couple of other little winners over here, which help us just basically rewind the clock back a little bit to see where it all started, to see where it is today, what the purpose of these things are, and how much I actually honestly love them myself. Just over 5 years ago, Adidas created these 3D printed prototype 3D runners, which for any Adidas collector were just like immediate holy grails. There was a white friends and family version of this particular pair, which one day I hope to find and get in my own collection. But this particular shoe is so important to me as an avid 4D collector, as you guys can probably tell, just because it really signified the start of this entire like innovation process that Adidas went on, or journey at least, to get to where we are today with the 4D Forwards. Now this particular shoe, just quick recap, was only limited to 333 pairs, I think only between Tokyo and New York. They were very, very difficult to get hold of, obviously all the way out here in South Africa, but shout out to whoever it was who was involved here in getting me this pair. They are literally like the holy grails for me of Adidas innovation, just as mentioned, because this is where it all started. Now around the Rio Olympics, just because we're in Olympic season at the moment, the medal winners were given a pair of these, which took the world by absolute storm. This is proof of concept from Adidas, with the leading company worldwide in digital light synthesis creation called Carbon. This was the 4D Futurecraft runner, and it was just like, I don't know anyone who was even like remotely even interested in Adidas who did not want to experience this shoe on foot. It was just like the craziest concept ever created, with a whole new lattice midsole system, which basically uses light and oxygen to craft this incredible lattice structure in the midsole to give you energy return where you need it most. Now with this entire project, the North Star with Adidas here was really to create a shoe, or at least provide some kind of proof of concept for a fully customizable shoe for the wearer. But in order to achieve that goal, they really require a hell of a lot of data feedback, and it started all here with this particular shoe, the 4D runner, and then we saw a whole bunch of different models that were created, from ZXs to Ultra 4Ds to consortium 4D runners, lifestyle variants, more performance variants, all of that kind of stuff, each one of them with, you know, minor little changes to the makeup of the shoe. Now when it comes to the actual 4D material, I was given these by Adidas a couple of years ago, which are just incredible for any Adidas collector, and these are like kind of 3 different lattice structures that make up the sort of 4D midsole across, you know, the 4D Futurecraft runners and the rest of the models that you see behind me, or at least most of them. Now they all got different densities, and they all basically provide different like energy return properties, and all working together in a specific setup in that midsole to give you the best possible energy return. Now over the years, Adidas has taken feedback and lots of different data sets from people wearing these, running them for lifestyle, all of that kind of stuff, and they've taken all that data and seen how they can push the envelope even further. And that is obviously with the arrival of 4D Forward. Now obviously when you're wearing a pair of shoes or running with a pair of shoes, all that energy that you're pushing down into the shoe is often lost, you know, and it just kind of dissipates in energy. And what Adidas have managed to do is consider over 5 million different lattice structures and decided on a single cell, which is primarily produced to take that energy that you're pushing down into the shoe and propel that forward. It's one of the most incredible like underfoot experiences that I've had. I've been wearing the Tokyo edition over here pretty much every second or third day. I know Andy behind the camera over here has literally been living in his, and it really is an incredible experience underfoot. They are super comfortable. The silhouette, everything about the 4D Forward is incredible, at least in my opinion. And as you guys would have probably seen with my review of the Tokyo edition here, this was the official Olympic podium shoe. So it's been so awesome like to see these on like Olympic gold medalists or any medalist for that fact at the Tokyo Olympic Games, all rocking this particular shoe. It's an incredible story. It's a beautiful execution. And now with the follow-up, as alluded to earlier, there's something even cooler with that. But before I get into the details of this brand new colorway, I just want to talk a little bit more about this lattice structure. And Adidas has actually given me a piece of this 4D forward lattice structure over here, which is, for any Adidas collector, this is like insane. Thank you very, very, very much for this. I'm going to drop this down over here just to kind of experiment with how this forward motion works. I'm going to just get a golf ball somewhere over here and just see what happens like when I drop that down onto this. So as you'll see, it's immediately basically propelling it forward, and that's just literally dropping it straight from, and it's gone. We back, but immediately just propelling that ball forward, and that's exactly what it's going to be doing in the midsole of the 4D forwards over here. But further to that, this is literally just a flat piece of it. Inside the midsole over here, they've basically warped the dimensions of those individual lattice structures to basically even further produce more energy return and forward propulsion within the midsole. But naturally, we are not talking about the Tokyos today, because there's a brand new colorway which is going to be releasing on the 12th of August this year, obviously. And this is something I have never seen in a 4D model before, at least when it comes to the midsole of the shoe. Adidas has basically taken that substrate that they use in the digital light synthesis process and created a translucent coloring of it. It is unbelievable in hand, especially around the heel section over here. I took these out of the box, and I actually originally thought when they were lying in that it was just like a, you know, like a black 4D midsole, something which we've seen before. But as soon as I actually took them out into the lights, I was just like, wow, that is actually translucent. So it's actually incredible, because we've seen like a whole bunch of different colorings that they've used. Some of them have just been like coating sprays, like the reflective NASA Ultra 4D over here. But this is like literally the material in there is translucent, which is just something that I just find so fascinating, how they're able to use different colorations within that digital light synthesis process. But further to that, the silhouette of the 4D forward over here is incredible. It's a full sock-like construction using Primegreen Plus, which basically has Primegreen properties in it, so recycled ocean plastic, at least a percentage of that used within the upper of the shoe. But it basically fits your foot like a glove, which anyone who knows, like a sock-like construction, and anything squishy, whether it's Boost or 4D or whatever material that they're using in the midsole, is always going to end up in an incredibly comfortable ride on foot. But getting into the details of the shoe, and I'll start underneath with the outsole. This is a bright sort of lime green coloration that they've gone here. This outsole here, it's got a whole bunch of different traction patterns on it that are designed in harmony to work with that 4D lattice midsole, giving you the most amount of traction and durability underfoot. The lime green coloration here really provides that just highlighted pop of color from the outsole moving upwards. And then, as already mentioned over here, the 4D midsole in here being translucent in coloring really picks up other kind of lights and gives it a bit of like a pearlescent sort of feel to the shoe, at least from a coloration perspective. It just catches light incredibly nicely. And further to that, I'm just going to twist these around just so you can see how flexible that 4D midsole is. It's very, very durable as well. Like, these things don't like just snap or anything. I've never had any of my previous pairs, which I've worn a hell of a lot over the time, ever like fail with me or had any rocks or anything get stuck in there. Like, that was something right in the beginning of 4D that we were all a little bit concerned about. Like, would rocks get stuck in there? But that's never happened to me. And then just moving up to the upper of the shoe, this is done in a predominantly Primegreen Plus black coloration over here. You do have some hits of this lime green that are coming through towards the heel section of the shoe, in and around the heel collar section, which is also that Primegreen Plus. So that really, as mentioned, is just going to hug your foot once your foot is in there, of course. But also further to this, just being a Primegreen upper, the breathability in the shoe is completely optimized to keep your foot as cool as possible when running or wearing the shoe. And rest assured, there's a hell of a lot of historical mapping data which has gone into the knit process and basic design of this upper to work in perfect harmony with that lattice midsole as well. Like, literally every part of the shoe has been immensely considered as a data-driven exercise to just provide you with the most ultimate shoe possible. Now, when it comes to the 3 stripes on the shoe, it's quite difficult to show you here in the studio, but outside under sunlight, you're getting a hell of a lot of iridescent look Throughout the 3 stripes there of course are 3M, so under any flash or like the lighting conditions, these things are just going to absolutely light up. The same goes for the tongue logo over here, which has got the Adidas Performance logo. It's printed in that same sort of bright green color. And then from a lacing perspective, one set of flat black laces that are provided with the shoe, no extra laces. With this particular one, I wouldn't expect that for this particular kind of shoe. And then just down towards the front of the eyelet sections, just to say the eyelet sections here are these fused overlays, also done in a reflective material of course. These little rope eyelets towards the bottom of the shoe are just highlighted in green, giving a bit of front and back balance on coloration. Now in the heel section of the shoe, you do have a material overlay here, which basically just covers the stitch line at the back of that Primegreen Plus with 40 forward logo just done in a white. And then just taking our attention inside of the shoe, as mentioned, sock-like construction, so really going to hug your ankle. The interior of the shoe is done in black with the insoles over here, which are similar to what you'd get in an Ultra Boost insole, just highlighted with this sort of bright green color, and the 40 forward logo in the heel sections of both shoes in black. Now just taking a look underneath the insole, you do have a mesh overlay strobel over there, so it's providing just an extra level of comfort between the bottom of your foot and that lattice midsole. I personally find, like with this pair over here, I did take a half size down and I removed the insole there just to get the perfect fit for my particular foot. However, Andy over here with his pair, he went true to size and it fits him absolutely perfectly. So always best to be able to try on a pair of these if you do have the opportunity to do so, and I'll let you know where these are going to be dropping, so you do have an opportunity to go and try them on. The reason I'm saying that, if you do choose to wear these without the insole in, if you're like me and you fit just in between like an 8.5 and a 9, somewhere around there, you are going to have awesome comfort without the insole, because that lattice midsole just underneath of it is so comfortable. It is really just an experience to behold. Now if you do want to get yourself a pair of the 40 forwards, they will be releasing on the 12th of August here in South Africa. They will be available online at adidas.co.za, as well as their flagship store Sandton, and then there are other stores as well in Canal Walk, the Waterfront, Menlyn and Gateway as well. Now from a pricing perspective, same as what we got on the Adidas Tokyo forwards over there, 4,999 Rand will get you a pair of these. And for me, I know I have spoken about that being like just a crazy amount of money for this particular pair, but I said in this review it was totally justifiable for myself to spend that on this particular pair. It's definitely something that I would continue to do, and even while it is a lot of money, you really are at the pinnacle and the forefront of Adidas innovation with the 40 forward. So that's a justification. You guys need to decide for yourself if it's worth it for you. I personally feel like this is one of the best shoes to come out in 2021. Certainly, like from my experience of wearing the Tokyo edition over here, and now with the translucent midsole over here, it's just something so different, something so future, which I really love about this pair. I'm sure there are going to be some other colorways to come of the 40 forwards as well in the future, maybe even a triple black version, maybe another sort of like lighter color version. I'm really excited to see like what comes from Adidas and Carbon in terms of the 4D ladder structure, and especially the coloration that they can now use. Like I never thought we would see like translucent 4D. That's just next level for me. So overall speaking, if you are looking for a shoe that you can wear for lifestyle and for running as well, you're going to get good performance attributes from it and a really slick shoe on foot. And now once with the release of these, at least 3 different colorway options to choose from, and definitely a shoe, as you guys will tell, like I would recommend this and have recommended it literally from the start to a whole bunch of people who've all bought and all had the same experience as me. So I don't think you're going wrong with getting yourself a pair of these. If you are into some of the darker colors that are being provided with this particular colorway, then definitely look to get yourself a pair of these. But that's pretty much it for this review of the 40 forward in the core black and carbon colorway. I hope you guys have found it helpful, enjoyable. If you did, please do me the favor, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe right here for more content reviews and unboxings down the line. But that is all from me for today, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.